Good morning, my beautiful friends, and happy Monday. Welcome to a new week. October, well underway, yes, and we are going to crush our call this morning. So, nutrition boot camp. Yes, that is what this call is. So, I wanted to share with you some of the nutrition tips that I have found over the years, just like overall general tips with you when it comes to truly crushing your nutrition. There are so many nutritional theories out there as far as what to do to be successful. And really, it just comes down to science, right? You have to eat less calories than you burn. Does that mean you have to count calories? No, it does not. Um, I will be completely honest with you. I have tried basically everything. My mom was one of those, she still is, one of those people who's always on a new diet. And it was a little bit stressful as a girl growing up, knowing that you always have to be on a diet and diets are always miserable. And that was just what I grew up with. And to be real, it's still something that my mom is struggling with, but I'm like, can I help you, please? But she's doing what she thinks is best. So, little background story. I did like a couple cleanses with my mom growing up and vowed that I would never do that again because it was awful. And I hated my life. And I felt like as soon as I was done, I undid all the hard work that I had ever done because I just wanted all the crap after the cleanse that I had done. And I was like, literally, this cannot be good for me. Like I don't see the point. And there's two different Beachbody cleanses that we have, and I've never done either of them. And one, it's because I've been either pregnant or nursing, but I also think I have a little bit of psychological damage with cleanses that I need to like overcome. And I promise I will do them at some point because I know that they encourage you to continue doing the nutrition that you have built up afterwards and not just go straight from, okay, I did this beautiful cleanse to, okay, I ate pizza all day. And I feel like I've gained some good knowledge and traction so I can actually do a cleanse when I'm not pregnant or nursing. Yes. So, but I did want to share with you, I also, like when I really got into health and fitness, I was a freshman in college and I really wanted to tone up for lots of different reasons. I was like a dancer in college. I wanted to tone up for dancing. I also had this guy that I really liked who broke up with me and he was about to leave for 2 years. And I really wanted to like get super trim and fit and be like, look what you're missing out on, yo, like, and my motives were not that great, but hey, it motivated me to lose like 15 pounds, right? And I looked freaking awesome. But then guess what happened? He left for 2 years. And then I developed a binge eating disorder and gained it all right back. So that just goes to show you that you need to have a good why, yeah, when you're starting your fitness journey. Because that was not a why for me. That was a why for spite and ness. But the way I lost it all was counting calories. And I got real good at counting calories. But I remember, like, even at my peak physical condition, like my smallest I'd ever been, I remember thinking, I hate this. Like, do I really have to do this for the rest of my life in order to keep looking like this? And that thought like was so depressing to me that it was not too far after that I threw in the towel. I stopped counting calories. I was going to the gym for an hour and a half to 2-3 hours every single day, 6 days a week. I had a personal trainer. I was counting my calories. Like I said, there were times that like my personal trainer told me my allotted amount of calories. And if I would go over even by 15 calories, I would have to work out instead of just for a minimum of half an hour. I would have to work out for at least 3 hours. So then I would eat my allotted amount for 3 hours of exercise, but then I'd have to find a way to work out for 2.5 more hours. And anyways, it just became this like vicious mental cycle. And then I would hit my allotted amount for 3 hours. And then I'd decide I wasn't in the mood to work out for 3 hours. So then I would just eat more and more and more because I'd already messed up. So might as well. And anyways, it was just this vicious thing. And then my sister introduced the containers to me, and I was like, that's stupid. That won't work. I know what I need to do to lose weight. I need to count calories. Like, that's just what my body does. And I just need to count my calories. And I already know that that works for me because I've already lost 15 pounds, gotten in the smallest and best shape of my life, counting my calories. So thanks, but no thanks. I'm not going to do that. And, but I kept telling myself I was going to do it, count my calories. And I kept having that psychological, like, no, like, you hated it. And I would do it for like a day and I would hate my life. And then I was like, I can't, I don't want to. And then I would stop after like a day. So I'm sorry, my son just woke up. Holland, come down here, cutie. Daddy went on a run. So come down here with me. Okay, sorry. So, I just couldn't get myself to be motivated to do it. And I was a coach at this point. And I got pregnant with my son, gained 45 pounds being pregnant with my son. And as soon as he was born, I knew that good job, big boy. You're so awesome. Okay, I'm talking to my friends, Kate. Do you want to come sit by me or do you want to play? Okay, go ahead. You're so cute. Good morning. Okay. So after he was born, I was like, I am going to be that person who like crushes my nutrition and I'm going to lose it all and I'm going to be freaking awesome. And people are going to be like, oh my gosh, you've had a baby. And I'm going to be like, yes, I did. Right. And so I told myself that like, it was all about how far can I go instead of like, how long is this going to take? And I just told myself, okay, I'm actually going to give these container things a try because I hate counting my calories and I'm so over it. And so I did. I started using the containers and I absolutely fell in love with them because they worked. And I love, and present tense, love the focus on what to eat instead of what not to eat. And if it gets to the point where I'm like, oh, I'm still hungry, and I look at my lists that I have on my app, it's like, oh, I'm still hungry because I still need to eat 4 servings of vegetables and 3 servings of proteins and 2 servings of fruit and 1 serving of carbs and whatever. Like, oh, that's why I'm still hungry because I still have a shiz ton of containers that I haven't used yet. Yeah. The containers totally worked for me after my son was born. And I found for myself, and a couple of my coach friends were like, that aren't really pro containers, were like, well, you can't do that. You changed the containers. That's not how Autumn designed it. But hey, yo, this is my life. I'm going to do something that I want to do for my life. So if I'm sharing these tips with you in case you're like me and you need a little bit of slight change because this is your life. Yes. So I follow the containers, bloop, right? Like, and I just barely switched back to containers. I was doing TB mindset, but I feel like it was not. My mindset was going too far into the I can eat whatever I want thing, especially as a pregnant person, and not enough into I really wasn't doing veggies most. I really wasn't doing water first. I was drinking my water by the end of the day, but I wasn't doing water first. And so I really wasn't following TB mindset. I knew the principles. I told myself I was following it, but I really wasn't because I was not doing veggies most. So I decided to go back to the containers. And what I have found for myself works. If you're following the container system, Autumn teaches you that you can have, if you're not doing timed nutrition, you're not doing one of the stricter programs, you're just doing the base container system, you get to have 3 treat swaps a week, which means like there's a list of healthy desserts that, I mean, they're healthy, but they're not that healthy. Desserts that she shares on the Fix8 cooking show. If you have Beachbody On Demand, they're in the Fix8 cookbook. If you've got one of those, Fix8 2, there's 2 different cookbooks. There's all these healthy dessert recipes, and healthy meaning it's like using raw sugar instead of just 100% white granulated sugar. Like there's a whole bunch of, it's very sweet. satisfies your sweet tooth, but it's a healthier alternative to just like, okay, I just had a donut from Smith's. Yeah. I personally, I eat a donut from Smith's and I enjoy every morsel of that donut from Smith's. Yes. But I have one and I swap it out for a yellow container. So it's still a treat swap and I still only do it 3 times a week, but I have dirty sugar 3 times a week because it's my life. And I don't want to make a dessert every 3 days or whatever, every 2 days to stay on plan. And that's not realistic for me in my life. I'm not a baker. I don't have any desire to become one. And I don't want to bake it every 2 days and then have all this leftover stuff sitting around when I can only have one every few days. Yes. So I personally go buy whatever I want for that treat swap 3 times a week. And if I want Flamin' Hot Cheetos, you better believe I have myself some Flamin' Hot Cheetos. And I'll be real, I don't just have like 21 little Cheetos and call it one serving. I eat a small bag and I don't do that often, but I will switch that out for one of my carbs. Yes. And, or if I'm like, okay, yeah, that was definitely more than one carb, I will switch it out for 2 or 3 or whatever it was, how many I had that day. Yes. Or is that you? I just want to make sure my daughter wasn't crying. Or if I'm like, guys, I have the taste buds of like a 14-year-old sometimes. I love ramen, chili ramen, just like the crappy 25-cent package from Walmart. Yes. Sometimes I will have it and I will let myself switch it out for a carb because this is my life and this is the thing that I want to do for life. I know people who like absolutely love cereal. Yes. Have a bowl of cereal, switch it out for a carb. Yes. I had my girl, Jessica Tripp. She has lost so much weight. I don't even know the number anymore, but she looks so amazing and she feels so amazing. And I remember at the beginning when she reached out to me in her journey, she was like, I just really miss, I think it's Fritos. Like it's some chili Fritos or some sort of chip that she loves. And I was like, girl, eat them, but switch it out for a carb. Like be conscious of how much you're having, switch it out for a carb and only do that max 3 times a week. Like do not do that every single day because then 4 days a week, you're still being really 100% spot on and you're not depriving yourself because that is totally a diet. Yes. That's like the definition of diet is when you feel deprived, you feel like, oh my gosh, I hate my life. I don't want to do this anymore. This is too hard. Yes. So make it work for you. And again, this is the containers according to Bryn. And this is what I have found that works for me. If you want to try this, if you want to give it a shot, whatever, you do it. If you've already found what works for you, in one ear and out the other, right? Take it or leave it. Yes. But this is what has worked for me. And that is what I did when I was getting back from my son, like my body, not even back. My body was literally in the best shape of its life. And that's what I did with him. And I didn't feel deprived. I was like, I can totally do this for the rest of my life. This is freaking awesome. I feel so good. And I found that the longer I did it, the less I wanted those, like a bigger serving of dirty carbs. And I still had it because I didn't want to feel deprived and whatever. But it was very like, I'm totally good with one because if I have 2, I'm going to get a sugar headache. Or if I have 2, I'm going to feel like crap and I'm not going to have energy to do my workout tomorrow, or I'm not going to have energy to play with my kids or whatever. Like I legit only wanted one. And then my taste buds started changing where I didn't really want Flamin' Hot Cheetos as much as I used to. And I realized that I went months and months and months without ever having them. And I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't had any forever. And I didn't even notice that I hadn't had any in forever. Yes. But I think it's because my mindset had switched to, I can have that. I can totally have that. I just need to switch it out for a carb. Yeah. And I can do it as often as I want. Well, up to 3 times a week. But so I didn't feel the need to miss it because I could have it whenever I wanted to. I just needed to be accountable for it and switch it out for a carb. Yes. So that is what I have found works for me. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Because I am someone who struggled with binge and emotional eating for a long time, like I shared in my story at the beginning. And I I love To Be Mindset because it has helped me see how to eat vegetables in a delicious way and how to swap vegetable bases out or carb bases out for vegetables, like making things like zucchini noodles and spaghetti squash as noodles, and dipping like snap peas in salsa instead of like a straight up chip or whatever, like doing little things like that. Love To Be Mindset. And I'm still weighing myself every day, even though I'm pregnant, to be accountable for the choices that I made. Because sometimes the containers that it doesn't allow for queso, right? I love queso. So sometimes I still eat some queso and I just call it a teaspoon, but I weigh myself in the next day to make sure that my choices are working for me. Yes. And that I'm not gaining 5 pounds in 5 days, because that's not what pregnant people want to do. Yes. I wanted to share this with you. I've mentioned this book a million times. And it's one of those books, it's taking me a while to read, but I feel like there's so many gems in this book that I just feel like I don't want to read it fast because my brain thinks about what I read for a long time. So again, this is the Slight Edge. Yes. So let's see. I'm trying to find the part that I want to read to you. So it's talking about investing in yourself, and there you have to course correct when you're working on your own personal journey. And it talks specifically about the rocket that went to the moon. Let's see. Okay. On its way to landing astronauts safely on the surface of the moon, the miracle of modern engineering that was an Apollo rocket was actually on course only 2 to 3% of the time, which means that for at least 97% of the time it took to get from the Earth to the moon, it was off course. In a journey of nearly 250,000 miles, the vehicle was actually on track for only 7,500 miles. Or to put it another way, for every half hour the ship was in flight, it was on course for less than 1 minute. It reached the moon safely and returned to tell the tale. How was such a thing possible? Because modern space travel is a masterful example of slight edge course correction in action. If this machine, at the time one of the most sophisticated, expensive, and finely calibrated pieces of technology ever devised, was correcting its own off-course errors 29 minutes out of every 30, is it reasonable to expect that you could do better than that? Let's say you were able to match an Apollo's rocket degree of accuracy in the pursuit of your own goals. That would mean you'd be perfectly on target and on course no more than 10 days in any given year. The next time you're giving yourself a hard time because you feel like you've gotten off track, think about the Apollo program and give yourself a break. For those who lack a grasp of the slight edge, being off course is something to be avoided at all costs. After all, if you're off course, you're failing, right? But those who understand the slight edge embrace Thomas Watson's philosophy about failure. Here's the more extended version of Watson's statement. Would you like me to give you the formula for success? It's quite simple, really. Double your rate of failure. You're thinking of failure as the enemy of success, but it isn't at all. You can be discouraged by failure, or you can learn from it. So go ahead and make mistakes. Make all you can, because remember, that's where you'll find success, on the other side of failure. Remember, Armstrong and Aldrin did walk on the moon, and the only reason they did is that the rocket got there, and so can you. Why? Because of continuous course correction. I love that. I love that. They did get to the moon and they were off course for 97% of their journey. Yes. You can get to your health and fitness goals, even if you're off course 97% of the time, or you're course correcting, or you're figuring out, okay, I'm going to try what Bryn said and I'm going to eat my bag of Flamin' Hot Cheetos, and then you're going to weigh yourself the next day and realize, holy crap, I gained 3 pounds. Maybe next time I should get the smaller bag. Or maybe I should just put a little bit in like a sandwich size Ziploc bag, eat the bag, and then, okay, I'm done. Or a snack size Ziploc bag, and then, okay, I'm done. I got my fill. I feel good. Okay, now I'm done. Yes. Whatever that means for you, it is okay to course correct. And he said, if you're only on course 10 days of the whole year, that's the same math as the people who flew to the moon. Yes. So just give yourself permission to fail. Give yourself permission to try new things. If you are like in love with 2B mindset, but there's one part that you don't necessarily love, tweak it, change it, fix it up. Yes, if you're doing the containers, but there's one part like me that you don't necessarily love, tweak it, change it, make it work for you. Yes, like I said, Ultimate Portion Fix and the container system does not encourage you to weigh in every day. I'm weighing in every day because I sometimes have sugar when that's not a container. Yes, or I sometimes have queso and that's not a container. So I'm weighing myself in every day to make sure that what I'm doing is not throwing me off my goals. Yes. So I've kind of combined and mixed and matched. Am I telling you that you have to have both? Am I telling you that you have to have 2B mindset and Ultimate Portion Fix? No, I'm not. I'm telling you to reach out to your coach. Yes. And say, hey, yo, there's this part of the container system, if that's what you're following, that I don't like. Do you have any suggestions? Because I'm pretty sure every single coach that's on my team has both, has 2B mindset and has Ultimate Portion Fix, because they want to encourage their people and know both sides so that they can teach and instruct the right way for their people. So if you are, whatever one you are following as a challenger, yes, talk to your coach. If there's something that you don't like, course correct. Figure out a way to make it work for you. Figure out a way to make it work for your life and your lifestyle. Yes, because this is your life. And really, all you have to do to be healthy long-term is never give up. Yes. You just have to never give up. You have to continually course correct. You have to stay on course for 10 days out of the year. You have to never, ever, ever give up and keep trying every day to be a little better than you were yesterday, to have a little more vegetables, to eat all of your containers. If you are like someone who doesn't eat enough, to eat less and stick to your containers. If you're somebody who overeats, to only have sugar 3 times a week instead of having sugar every day. If you're someone who's obsessed with sugar, yes, to make sure you're try drinking your Shakeology at a different time of day. I know for myself, if I have my Shakeology in the afternoon or at night, I am so much better at my sweet tooth that day, because those are the 2 times that I crave sugar, in the afternoon and at night. When I have it at the beginning of the day, I have a lot of energy and I do really good, like energy wise, from the morning to the mid-afternoon, evening, and I don't need a nap. But sometimes that's not my goal. Sometimes I'm like, okay, yes, I can take a nap, but I don't want to have any bloody sugar today. So I'm going to save my Shakeology for 3 or 4 o'clock p.m. or 8 o'clock p.m. after my kids are asleep. And I just want something sweet, because to let what's the expression? When you're tired and you're like, you want to let your hair down. I don't know if that's the right word, but save it for whenever works for you, for whatever goals you have, and course correct. Yes. Figure it out. Make it work for you. Yes. And if you're someone who doesn't really love drinking water, add stuff to it. Add Crystal Light packets to it, for heaven's sake, if that means you're having soda, or if that means you're having more water versus soda. Yes. I've missed a couple of things in the chat, and I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Jordan said, I absolutely love that. Such a great way to look at my health and fitness journey. Definitely on a course correction now. Laugh out loud. Definitely learning to forgive myself for not being perfect all the time. Amen. That is definitely a must. Yes. So forgive yourself for not being perfect. Give yourself permission to be off course 97% of the time, but never give up. Yes. And it's course correction. Yes, it's okay if you're on course correction for 97% of the time, but you need to be on course correction. You need to be working to correct yourself, not working to get off course. Yes. And constantly in state of learning and constantly in a state of progression. Yes. Another quote that I really love from this book, and I'm pretty sure I have it memorized, but he says, and this is in a totally different chapter, but it says, a man can fail many times, but he isn't a failure until he begins to blame somebody else. I love that so much. So take responsibility for your actions. Take responsibility for your nutrition. Take responsibility for your course correction and make changes. Make changes to the things that you need to make so that you can constantly be on an upward progression and never, ever, ever giving up on your health and fitness journey. Yes. And really reach out to your coach. They are there for a reason. They know their stuff. Yes. And there's even certification programs for for your coach to be certified in these 2 nutrition programs. And I know a couple of the coaches on my team are already certified in one of the programs, if not both. So really use your coach as a resource, as a tool, as a guide to help you course correct and to help you figure out what will work. Because now Jessica Tripp, like I told you, that was at the beginning. She was like, I really miss my Fritos. And I was like, girl, eat them and enjoy them. But what if we hadn't had that conversation? What if she would have been depriving herself of her Fritos? Maybe she would have thrown in the towel 2 weeks later. And she wasn't going to be eating her Fritos ever, like for those 2 weeks. But then she's going to throw in the towel and give up after 2 weeks because she just really misses her Fritos. And this program's not going to work for her because she feels too deprived and she hates her life. Yes. But we had that conversation. And now she's eating her Fritos. And guess what? She is in the best shape of her life. And she has used the containers to get there. And guess what? She's still eating her bloody Fritos. Yes, I think it's Fritos. I'm pretty sure it's Fritos. Anyways, okay. Any questions before we peace? Okay. I don't see any. I love you. I think you're the shiz. I hope you have the best Monday ever. If you are on the recording, I'm going to stop the recording. If you're on live, stay on live so we can chat for a little bit. Literally, if you have anything that you're like, please, please, please talk more about this. Like, please let me know. Because I'll be real, I have to like rack my brain on over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, trying to come up with content to make sure that I'm providing something that is valuable to you. So if you have something that you want me to address, you will be doing me a favor by letting me know, because then I can actually know what I'm going to talk about and like study it all week long so that I can be super prepared and deliver awesome stuff for you come Monday. Yeah. So I hope all of these are awesome. I'm always trying to listen and pay attention to what other people are saying, pay attention to what's going on in my own health journey, what I'm doing so that I can help you and pay it forward. Yes. But if you have something that you're like, please address this, let me know. Yes, whether it's in Powerful Beyond Measure Fight Club, our Facebook group. And if you're not a part of that, please ask your coach to be added to it because it's amazing. Or whatever, or you just messaged me or message your coach or whatever. Let us know what you're struggling with. Let us know what you need help with. Let us know how we can help you on your health and fitness journey because we're in this together for life. Yeah. If you're on the recording, peace out. I love you. If you're on live, stay on.